coaching here is simply, di ba, parang believing in a person that this person, has the capacity to be able to overcome their own problems or their own issues. Okay? Sometimes there's a misconception on coaching that coaching is only for the experts. No, that's not true. Okay? If you're an employee, no, and you'd want to motivate another coworker who is probably finding it very difficult right now, okay? By simply, motivating them and trying to uplift their spirit, you're actually practicing positive coaching. Okay? So coaching is not simply for those who are experts in their field. They're also for those who have that kind of optimism or positiveness in them. So they share it with another person, no? And by doing so, no, you're able to influence another person's disposition. So when you see that happen with another person, that means that you're able to do positive coaching with another person. Okay? Number 5, as part of business growth is of course excellent execution. No? So in this case, when you talk about excellent execution, it means that we need to be able to make plans, but at the same time, we also need to execute our plans. Because without execution, our plans is simply ideas. Okay? Ideas plus execution equals results. So let me repeat that. Ideas plus execution equals results. So that means that we are supposed to execute our plans and make sure that we see it through in our organization. Now, when we have a positive culture, there's what we call payoff. Okay? So yung payoff na sinasabi natin dito would include the 4 things. Okay? So what are these 4 things that a positive culture will give you? Okay? So number 1 is the aspect of trust. Okay? So trust is an important element in a positive culture, especially for remote teams. No? The fact that we are not seeing each other physically, no, every day, that means that we have to trust each other in terms of what we're doing. Okay, so trust is built upon the relationships that we have with people. Okay, so the second payoff of a positive culture is accountability. Okay, accountability here simply means that whatever is given to us, no, we make sure that it is dealt with, it is acted on, and we deliver what we say that we will deliver. So accountability nowadays is an important thing, no, because needless to say, pag tinignan mo yung yung culture natin right now, especially for remote teams, makikita natin na pwede tayong magkaroon ng tinatawag nating blame culture. What do I mean by that? Blaming culture is passing the blame to another person for failures. Okay? And because of that, accountability is such an important aspect in building a positive culture in the company. So, people should be accountable for what they are assigned to. Okay? So, that means, pag binigay ko itong trabaho sa'yo, then you are expected to be able to deliver it according to what is expected of you. Okay? So, that is what it means to be accountable. Third payoff of a positive culture is productivity. Okay, so when there is positive culture, you can see that productivity tends to go higher. Okay, or nagpi-peak siya, sabi nga natin. Why? Because positive culture really encourages people to simply grow, no, and be able to deliver for the company despite of odds or despite obstacles, no, na meron that people will encounter. The fourth payoff of a positive culture is actually innovation. Huh? I've always believed that innovation is born out of that kind of culture where people are allowed to make mistakes. People are not ridiculed for not being able to deliver according to but people are encouraged, people are supported. Okay? So innovation can only happen, people can innovate simply because they are allowed to do so. Okay? And of course, sabi nga natin, di ba? Success is always filled with failures. No? So before you become successful at anything, normally you would have to go through some failures. No? What is important is that even if you fail at something, but if you have that can-do attitude, if you have that spirit, that you can be able to rise above it and be able to more or less deal with the situation, then you can innovate something. Okay, so those are again the payoff of a positive culture. So again, let me just again acknowledge people who are watching in Facebook. So thank you for watching in Facebook. So I hope you're enjoying this particular webinars of our. This is a free webinar again, courtesy of Talent Sheets. Okay, now here are now my 7 remote team culture builders. No, so I don't know for what reason, no, but I've always been a fan of number 7. By the way, my favorite number is 9, but in terms of writing, my favorite number is 7. Okay, so I've written a book which is called the HR Compass, and the HR Compass is 7 steps to starting your human resource department. So because of today's webinar, no, so I've also come up, no, I've come up with a 7 remote team culture builders. So this is what I'm going to discuss for the next few minutes until an hour. Okay. So first is lead with compassion. Okay. Second is to embrace the power of positive. Third is to create connections. Number 4, communicate with clarity. Number 5, to involve, to innovate. Number 6, coach for results. Number 7, appreciate people and performance. So these are the things that I'm going to discuss in the next few minutes. So starting off with number 1, we talk about leading with compassion. So leading with compassion means that compassion starts with the thought and ends with the action. That means that what we think, what we say, we do. Okay? So if you'd want to show compassion to a person, no, nobody should stop you in the company. If you'd like to show, that you care for that other person, especially if people are going through difficult times, then make sure that your actions aligns with your words. Okay? Now, check-ins and check-outs, no? What does it mean? Check in with each team member each day and seek to understand what he or she is going through. No? So, parang in short, when you talk about leading with compassion, di ba? Let's say if you're the leader of your team, one thing to do is to make it a regular thing
Pusin mo.
to check on your people. That
Alia.
means that you need to be able to check on them, what's going on with them, even for a few minutes. No? So checking in and checking out with them does not require too much time. Okay? So, but if you do this on a daily basis, not just saying hi, how are you, for example, what's happening, for example, or asking them if they need help. So these are things that will be received with compassion. Okay? So you need to identify a company, okay, or individual resources to help team members in need. No? So I think one of the things that we have realized nowadays is that we need each other. Okay? That is one of the realizations of the past year of the pandemic, that we need each other. If you're in a company, you have to tell people we need each other. Okay? So because in previous times, pwede natin sabihin na hindi ko kailangan yung help ng ibang tao kasi I'm sufficient na. I am, okay, I am comfortable. But now, if you're the leader, then you have to tell the person, if you want to live with compassion, we need each other. You need me, I need you. So that is what it means to lead with compassion. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to all of you, in terms of how to really build. No? So later on, as I progress, I will be sharing with you actual examples. Okay? So I will be sharing, some of the list, and I hope that from that list that I will be sharing with you, you can pick up ideas and practices that you can actually do for your own respective organizations. Okay? And as I've said, this will all be provided as handouts for you for your own reference. Okay? So that's number 1. No? So this is the first step. or sorry, first way, no, of building. Iba kasi yung steps. No? So this is one way of building a positive culture. Okay. The second way of how to build a positive culture with remote teams is to embrace the power of positive. Okay? So as I've said, we have to nurture a growth mindset. Okay? So a growth mindset believes that number one, leadership is an inside job. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin ng inside job? That means that, you really have to be involved with the people inside the team. Okay? You also need to identify changes and improvements you need to be successful. Okay? Because successful people are very adaptive people. They would tell you what needs to be adjusted so that they can become successful. Okay? Another tip for you in terms of nurturing a growth mindset is to start small. Okay? What do I mean by that? No? Start small. Tell a person, okay, if you're finding it hard, no, to work with a certain technology, with a certain work process, no, remind them, start small. That means select one small thing and improve and focus and turn it into a habit. Okay? I would be recommending to you, if you would like to really, focus on creating very good habits, no? I have a book recommendation for you. If you have the budget, or if you have the passion for reading or learning, I suggest you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Okay, let me repeat that. Read the book of James Clear. He's the author, and look for the title Atomic Habits. That's a very good book that I would be recommending because it will tell you how you can create habits for yourselves or habits for your teams. Okay? So Atomic Habits by James Clear. So that is the author. So you can check in Amazon, or if you can check your bookstore, you can look for that particular author and read that particular book. Okay? So further, you need to also identify and develop people's strengths. Okay? That means that you have to be able to focus on the strengths of people. No? Because nowadays, if you've seen, there are a lot of there's a growth at what they call positive psychology. Positive psychology is simply that branch of psychology emphasizing on strengths. Okay, that's the reason why nowadays napapansin nyo there are coaches on Strengths Finder. Okay, why? Because there is a growth of psychologists trying to really emphasize on improving the strengths rather than weaknesses. Okay? Also, to embrace the power of positive, you need to look for positive news, no, and share it quickly. No, nowadays there's so much negative news. Media is really polluting us with so much negativity. Okay? So my suggestion for you, pick the media that you're consuming. Okay? So choose the news sources that you will listen to, that you will consume content, because sometimes hindi mo napapansin na you're becoming negative simply because you're reading news. Okay? So piliin natin kung ano yung news na babasahin natin, or news that you will actually consume. No? I've heard somewhere that if you'd want to minimize the negativity because of news, no, try to just read news once a week. Okay? Huwag kang magbasa everyday kasi minsan pag everyday yan, parang nagko-compile, no, yung mga negativity na nababasa mo. So, read news, for example, once a week lang, para lang ma-update ka kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa paligid mo. Okay? So, finally, find things also that are going well, then acknowledge them and learn from them. Yan. So, very important yan, so that you will have that power of positivity. So, sabi nga natin, just like what you see in the screen, attitude is everything. Your attitude will determine your altitude. So let me repeat, your attitude will determine your altitude in life. So be careful of the attitude that you are choosing on a daily basis. Okay? Now, the third way that I'd like to share with you is to create connections. creating connections simply means that we need to formalize team rituals and celebrations. Okay? So, sabi nga natin, ano, team rituals and celebrations is what makes teams or organizations, 'di ba, a fun environment. What does it mean, 'di ba? Yung mga team rituals natin of, let's say, morning huddle, yung ating celebration if we hit a certain target, celebration of birthdays, celebration of company anniversaries and all. So all of this are basically team rituals and celebrations. No? So we need to formalize it, no? So just like for example, when we were still in the office, 'di ba? If you remember, when you were still in the office, you'd normally have parang lunch together. Tama ba? No? So for most of us when we were still in the office, meron tayong mga lunch togethers. Okay? With certain people, with our teams for example. No, in this case, although it's not anymore possible if you're a remote team, no? Pero why not innovate and try to come up with, lunch na magkakasama kayo kumakain kahit virtual lang. Okay? So in this case, that could be one of the things that you can do, no? Another would be creating a happy hour Friday afternoon. Okay? A happy hour Friday afternoon, sharing your highs and lows. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? So, let's, create a virtual Zoom, for example, and then talk about, ano yung mga naging experiences natin. By doing so, you are actually creating connections with people kahit na remote kayo. Okay? So, also, try to rotate the responsibility for the rituals among the team members. Kunyari, you have 10 members. In this case, what you can do is you can assign people per week. Okay, so for this week, ikaw yung ma-assign. Next week, ibang tao naman. So, you can do the rotations, a round robin, for example, and you ensure that people are involved. Okay? Yun yung maganda doon, that you create connections. Okay? You also can share personal updates at the beginning of each week. Ayan, yun yung maganda dyan. So you can share yung mga, ano yung nangyayari sa'yo, ano yung updates mo, for example. No? One of the good things that I normally do, especially in kapag may mga group dynamics, no, I would do the activity of what's good and what's new to you. Okay? We will go rounds, for example, asking people, oh, what's good and new to you? Ano yung bago? Ano yung magandang nangyari for the week? So if you do that, you're uplifting, you're putting the positivity in them that, something good and something new is happening to them. Ayan. Of course, celebrate anything like project completion, end of a successful week, diba? Yung thank God it's Friday, or adjusting to changes or birthdays and all. So, you know, even if we're remote or virtual, nothing should stop us from creating celebrations, no? Kahit na virtual 'yan. So, again, I encourage you to be creative, no, to find resources and create connections, no? Now, another thing to consider in creating connections is to create with what we call QC squared. Okay? What does QC squared means? That means that we have to connect using questions with people. We also can connect with people by identifying what is the common ground that we have with this person, and of course, compliment them. Okay? So, di ba sabi nga natin, nothing beats appreciation. Bakit? Kasi when you compliment another person, kunyari, uy, ang galing mo pala dito, or wow, ang galing, natapos mo na kagad yung ginagawa mo. Then, by doing that, you're actually creating connections. No? Remember, in terms of building a good relationship, no, imagine it like a bank account. Okay? If you want to build good relationships with your people, you have to deposit. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin ng deposit? Ibig sabihin yan, no, do something good with that person. Don't wait for that person to do good to you, no? Do something, no, na hindi niya ini-expect na, o sige, tulungan na kita, for example. That means that this person, in the long run will feel that you are a helpful person even in a remote team. Okay? So again, all of this is something that we need to be able to ensure, especially in a remote teams. Okay? So again, this is the third way of creating connections with people. Ayan. So again, if you will be going through yung mga video meetings, try to make sure that you enhance feelings of connectedness. No? Ibig sabihin parang, tell people, especially if you're in a video, no, that we are all experiencing the same things. Why? Because I think when you tell people na uy, pareho lang tayo ng nararamdaman. Pareho lang tayong nalulungkot, for example, sometimes, or minsan parang nade-depress, for example. But, we get out of it. Okay? So in this case, you need to create connectedness. Also, make sure that you sharpen the attentiveness of the participants, lalo na pag video. Kasi 'di ba minsan kaya sabi natin, i-on mo yung video mo kasi hindi namin alam kung natutulog ka ba or hindi ka na nakikinig. Okay? So you need to make sure to check on the person. So one way to do that is to turn on the video. Kasi 'di ba pag naka-turn on yung video, ibig sabihin makikita sila. Okay? So, you will see the person what he is doing or how he is reacting. Okay? Now, so again, that's creating connections for you. So you need to connect with the QC squared, questions, common ground, and complement. Now, here is a ano no, here is a sharing, no. So this is not anymore a breakout, no. So this is normally, I would love to have breakout discussions, no, but I just like to share with you some of the best practices in terms of creating connections with remote teams. So I've gathered this, no? So kinolekta ko yung mga examples over the internet. So ni-research ko to, no? Nalaman ko ito yung mga best practices according to some people. Okay? So let's try to see them. Okay? So let's see, no? So later on, if you'd want to add other examples later on during the Q&A, we'd be very glad to be able to get some suggestions from you. Okay? So let's try to see. Let me share with you. So ito yung mga examples natin. So tingnan natin, ano? So probably some of you can pick out something here. Okay? So examples of creating connections would be again happy hour. Okay? Morning coffee for 15 minutes, for example. Ang sarap nun, for example, at the start of the morning, 'di ba, nagko-coffee kayo sabay-sabay, for example, and you're trying to discuss the work ahead. Okay? You could also have one-to-one meetings to ask about personal life. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meron kayong for work, meron din kayong one-on-one meetings for personal life para meron namang interaction, sabi nga natin. Of course, you'll have virtual team happy hours. You can establish that. Another one is to share really funny stories. No? So sabi nga natin, nothing beats laughter. Di ba? Minsan kailangan lang nating matawa. Kailangan lang natin mag-enjoy, for example, so that we will treat our work very positively. No? Another one, of course, is daily or regular huddles. Okay? Try to have also personalized conversations with people. Okay? You can also have virtual birthday celebrations or happy hours. Okay? Another one is to post a picture daily of a certain subject. Okay? Para kumaga magkaroon naman kayo ng certain interest. No? So, post something picture. Like, if you have a Facebook group, for example. No? Another one is to invite a family member to a meeting. Okay? So, this might be good. No? So, include mo yung isang family member po para ma-experience nila ano bang ginagawa mo sa trabaho, even if it's a remote team. Of course, you have the daily or weekly check-in. Ayan, importante yan. Sabi nga natin, kailangan meron kang rhythm of checking out the person kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanya. Okay? Other examples are business book club, no? Magbasa kayo. I mean, because we're all remote teams, so siguro naman, we should be able to develop the habit of reading. Okay? Another one would be water cooler chats from 5 to 6 people. Yan yung mga, 'di ba? Ang tawag ko dito sa water cooler chats is yung chismisan, 'di ba? So, parang kumbaga, update natin yung isa't isa kung ano nangyayari sa buhay-buhay natin. Okay? Also, try to encourage to everyone should share something green. Yung mga parang plants, for example, 'di ba ngayon medyo very fancy na yung merong mga plants, no? So pwede kang gumawa ng any particular Zoom na ipapakita mo yung mga plants that you have, no? Another one is icebreakers to kick off meetings. Ayan. So there are a lot of icebreakers around, no? So try to be creative and use icebreakers, no, to have in meetings, no, para mag-kick off ka. Pwede ka rin gumamit ng reverse raffle through email. Okay? Kunyari, meron kang ipaparaffle. Okay? So you can use email. Tapos yung mananalo, ino-notify through email. Ayan. So these are ideas, no, that I'm sharing with you. Another one, if in case, for example, you have a coworker na medyo kalapit mo or, malapit kayo sa isa't isa, baka pwede niyong gawin, di ba? In the morning, try to, meet each other and then walk with each other, for example. So that could be a very, very physical activity, pero it will do a lot of good. Okay? Pwede rin kayo mag-video webcams in all meetings. So para talaga nagkakakitaan kayo. So walang naka-turn off ang video. So that is a good practice. No? Also, another very practical is to show goals versus results. Ibig sabihin nun, when you talk about goals, you talk about results also. So when you set a certain goal, mag-set ka rin ano yung results na nagawa for the company, for the team. Okay? So these are again examples that I hope you can pick up, no, and then apply back to your own respective organizations. Okay? So I hope you've seen these examples, and again, don't be afraid to try these examples because nowadays you really have to innovate. Okay? So number 4, way is to communicate with clarity. Okay? So communicating with clarity means number 1, we have to listen. Okay? Remember, the most important part of communicating is listening with empathy. Okay? What does empathy means? Empathy is a leadership skill, no, that is really needed right now because you have to understand what a person is going through. Okay? So listen and talk in proportion to the number of ears and mouths that you have in your team. Okay? And of course, try to focus on your purpose. Okay? Again, changes in the market will require you, no, to be nimble. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mabilis kang mag-react, no, as a leader. Okay? You need to pivot to what is most important to your business and to your team. Okay? Ensure also that your team is aligned what is the most important priority for today. Okay? As much as possible, just deal with what is today. Okay? Don't think about tomorrow, 1 week ahead, 1 year ahead. Focus only on today. Okay? Even if your team's purpose is unchanged, reinforce how the positive difference for their internal and external customers. Okay? So it's important to always connect purpose with the individual and the customers. Okay? So again, try to have a communication rhythm by having touch points with people. Okay? Conduct again 5-minute daily check-ins with people, and I'm sure people will appreciate that with you. Okay? So that's again how we can communicate with clarity. Okay? Nowadays, we really need clarity because there's so much confusion happening in the world. There's also confusion in organizations. So we need to communicate with clarity. Okay? Number 5 is to involve to innovate. Involving to innovate means that people support and own what they help create. Ayan. So pwede nyo i-picture to, no? Very Facebook worthy or Instagram worthy. So people support and own what they help create. Okay? New challenges requires new solutions. Okay? Working on common problems is a great way to align your team. Okay? Again, you need to make them feel that they are connected with you for a certain cause. Okay? Engage your team to innovate or refine the work processes. Okay? That's the only way. Kasi the traditional work process might not be working anymore. So don't be afraid to innovate. Okay? Seek quantity, not quality of ideas. Okay? Seek quantity and not the quality of ideas. Kasi the more ideas coming from your team, the better it is for you. Okay? So again, don't forget to involve, to innovate with your teams. Now, if you want to create a positive culture, make sure that you involve people in your innovation. Okay? Now, since we're talking about the aspect on innovation, I'd like to also mention that you need to approach, no, and deal with what they call the 8 areas of waste. Okay, what are the 8 areas of waste? So here it is. The 8 areas of waste includes the following things. Okay? I don't know if this is the first time that you will look at this, but these are the 8 areas of waste. One of them is transport. No, you're moving people, product, and information. It could be a source of waste in your company. Okay? Second is in inventory. Okay? Storing parts, pieces, and documentation ahead of time. Okay? So that's an area of waste also. Third is motion. Okay? Yung bending, turning, reaching, and lifting. These are areas of waste. Number 4, waiting, no, for parts, for information, for instructions, and for equipment. Okay? Number 5, overproduction, making more than is immediately required. Okay? So that's why sometimes yung overproduction could lead to waste of resources. Overprocessing. Okay? So you need tighter tolerance than needed. No, yung ibig sabihin masyado kang lenient. No, that's why it could create wastage in your company. Of course, number 7 is defects. Okay, yung mga rework, scrap, incorrect, or incomplete information. Okay, and number 8 is skills. Underutilizing your capabilities, delegating tasks without training. Okay, so very important for us to realize that these are 8 areas of wasting, especially of people. Okay, so I hope you watch out for this, okay, so that you can avoid wasting the resources that you have in your company. So again, these are all part of innovating. And minsan, because of these things that we are looking at, no, dito lumalabas yung innovation ng isang company kasi nakikita niya kung paano tanggalin yung waste in the company. Okay? Yeah, so yun nga yung tinatawag nating waste management. Okay? Instead of time management. So waste management naman to. Okay, moving forward. Number 6. No, we're about to finish, no, the 7 ways. Okay, number 6 is to coach for results. Okay, so coaching for results means you need to align on the expectations using the 3 W's. What are the 3 W's? What, who, and then when. Okay? So remember that. The 3 W's is what, who, and when. Okay? So align on expectations. So lagi yan. For example, when you want people to deliver the results, no? Define what, who, and then when. Bakit? Kasi, di ba, when you define those 3 things, more or less, what happens is, no, you get to remember it. No? The brain has the capacity to remember at least 3 things at a time. Okay? That's why yung 3 W's fits to a T. Big sabihin, talagang matatandaan niya kasi, di ba, what, when, and who. Tama ba? What, who, and when. Ayan. So, align, that's how you align on expectations. Again, remember, people like to win. So, keep the score and keep your scoreboard visible. No? So, ngayon maganda yung visual. Dapat nakikita ng mga tao kung ano yung nagagawa nila or natatapos nila. Okay? Identify also short-term progress and use positive coaching to achieve the goals. As I've mentioned to you, positive coaching means that you need to be able to motivate, provide information, or just simply make a person feel good about himself. Okay? So also, regularly discuss progress during your one-to-one team updates. So, yung mga team updates nyo, dapat pinag-uusapan nyo ano yung progress ng bawat isa. Okay? So, that is how you coach for results. Now, here are some examples of what are some of the best ways to coach for results with remote teams. Ito yan. So, here are some examples that I'd like to share with you. One, have persons be coached through questions. Okay? Meaning that yung coaching mo could be filled with questions given to a person and then let the person answer the question. So that could be a very good or positive coaching. Okay? Next is to align performance outcomes and results with people. Okay? Also, you can share in smaller groups rather than in big groups. Okay? Also, if you'd want to do positive coaching, know who you are coaching and adjust your approach accordingly. Okay? Remember, in a coaching session, it's all about the coachee and not about the coach. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, pag kino-coach mo isang tao, hindi yung coach ang superstar. Dapat ang star yung kino-coach mo. Okay? So, very important for you to be able to adjust your approach accordingly. Of course, don't forget to set expectations as part of coaching. Okay? This one, yung no emails after 6 p.m. is a very good practice. Okay? It works wonders, no? Because sometimes, di ba, minsan, some people parang nararattle because of so many emails na natatanggap nila. Okay? So in this case, no email after 6 is a good way, no, to do positive coaching with the person. And also, make sure that you have regular communication refresher. No? Kunyari, every month, nagkakaroon kayo ng refresher of what happened to that person. Okay? So these are, again, examples that I've gathered in terms of how to do positive coaching with remote teams. I hope you can be able to use some of them in terms of your respective organizations. Okay? You may also set out measurable goals for each of your team members. No? Then, don't forget to recognize and have celebration of accomplishments. No? You can also send out cards. Ito medyo old-fashioned. Send out cards telling them why you appreciate them. And then in quarterly planning sessions, recognize key players and their success. This is how you do positive coaching. Okay? And finally, as I wrap up my discussion for this evening, no, we should never forget to appreciate people and performance. Okay? So first, you need to encourage others, no? You encourage others by appreciating the progress along the way. Sabi nga natin, don't just appreciate the end result, appreciate the progress. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kapag may nakikita kang maganda na nangyayari, wag mong intayin na matapos yung trabaho niya. No? Give him that kind of good job. No? Pat in the back, sabi nga natin. Okay? Appreciate who they are as much as what they do. Okay? Kasi minsan, as a leader, na-appreciate mo lang sa kanya because of what they do for you. No? You don't appreciate them as a person. That's important if you are the leader. Okay? Also encourage yourself. No, the most important conversation that you will have is the one with yourself. Okay? Ano ba yung sinasabi mo sa sarili mo? No, are you positive? Are you negative? So you need to check on yourself. Yung tinatawag nating self-talk. No? Kasi ang self-talk natin pwedeng positive or negative yan at any point of the day. So talk to yourself with positive messages versus listening to yourself which have negative messages. Okay? Pag sa tingin mo negative ka na, listen to something positive so that you will not be too negative at that situation. Also, express gratitude with people. Start your day by thanking people. No? One effective way of expressing gratitude is on a daily basis, no? Um, try to reflect on three things that you are grateful for, no? I think si Oprah Winfrey mentioned this, no, na meron siyang gratitude journal. Yung gratitude journal niya is sinusulat niya every day, what are three things that I'm thankful for? And because of that, no, you simply become happy. Kasi sabi nga natin, if you're grateful, no, you cannot be unhappy. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, pag grateful ka, ibig sabihin, happy ka. No? You cannot be grateful and at the same time unhappy. Okay? So express gratitude. So this will again help you rise and shine, no, in your job. Again, use team meetings to share who and what you are grateful for in the past day, in the past week. Okay? And one of the things that I found to be effective is try to find one kind act for a person that you can do. For example, no? Pwede mong sabihin doon sa team member mo, oh, tulungan naman natin si person A kasi alam natin medyo nagsa-struggle siya. So let's try to work with him. Try to encourage him, for example. So if you do that, for example, that is a show of appreciation as a leader. If you do that, I tell you, people will appreciate you for what you're doing. So again, appreciate people and performance. So both of them are essentially needed, especially during this pandemic. Okay? So again, as I wrap up my discussion about the 7 ways of how you can build a positive culture in your remote teams, these are the things that I'd like to share with you for this free webinar coming from Talent Reach. So I hope that all of these things that we have talked about for from 1 to number 7 is something that you can uh, use and that you can practice eventually in your respective workplace. Okay, so I hope that this particular content that we have shared with you is something that you will use further and will be meaningful for a lot of you in your own remote teams. No? So at this point, um, I am now open for questions that I might be able to answer shortly, no? As part of this webinar. Okay, so I'd like Amy to help us out in terms of the questions that we will be getting from the Zoom and also coming from the Facebook Live. So we are now open for questions.
Thank you, Ronnie. And good evening, everyone. So, um, in Zoom, no, we're
You may ano
actually,
no, you may raise your hands ha. Meron diyan pwede kang mag-raise ng hands if you'd want to
yes,
ask a question. Sige. So para
or you,
ma-acknowledge ka namin.
yes, you can put them on the chat box. By the way, all the presentation that was used here, we have a summary handout that we will be sending to you, no, and it will be available for download so that you will have a reference. So for this webinar, we don't have a certificate, but instead a useful summary handout. Ayan. So any questions coming from our participants here inside Zoom, and then also those on Facebook, please put them on the comment section so that our
Oh,
speaker
but
can answer them.
let me just acknowledge, I'm very happy to let you know that our participant size is already at 90. Wow, congratulations to every one of us. So thank you. I'm very, very happy because of this turnout of our free webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's one question here from Anna.
Hi, yes. Good evening,
Okay.
Sharani and ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, Apa.
Yes.
First, I would like to thank you for this and very informative discussion because it's very um, um, I think this will be really effective, especially now that we are amidst pandemic and most of us are working from home. I myself, I am working from home since March, and my question is that um, the you mentioned about coaching,
Yes.
and I have different sections in HR department, and I would like to know if what are the questions that I might ask to my staff, especially they are handling different functions.
Well,
To
um,
start with, yeah.
are you talking about coaching them?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Siguro one thing I can share with you, because I have been in your shoes of, handling basically, no, I've handled also teams, and also I've handled HR personnel or employees. No? So one technique that I do in coaching is I would try to ask them, what is your current struggle? Okay? So that question will prompt the person to be open to you, no, and tell you as a leader what they need from you. Okay, so that's another question. Okay, when you are doing coaching, kasi for me, one of the powerful ways of coaching is through the form of questions. Okay, you can ask them, what can I do for you, what can I assist you with? Okay, bakit? Kasi
Okay.
you need to make them feel confident. Okay, so first things first, you need to ask them, what do you know about this function? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, what are you struggling with in terms of this function? Depende kung anong area nila. Okay, number three, what can I help you with? Okay, so those three
Okay.
questions alone will uncover the things that you need to know as a coach. So by using those questions, no, i-customize mo ngayon kung anong gagawin mo per person. So I've always believed that coaching should be customized per person. There should be no one coaching for all persons. Iba-iba ng
Yes.
iba-iba ng style. So you need to develop that as a leader. Yeah. So those are
Yes
the
po.
things na the three questions might help you uh, handle your HR.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much because ngayon nga po we have different generations in
Yes.
our organization, and most are
Yeah.
millennials. Mhm.
Yeah. I hope that helps.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. Anyone else who would like to raise a question? Now would be the best time that we have our speaker with us. Ayan. From the anything that was not clear. Ayan. From Nolene. Thank you, Nolene. Um,
Hi, Nolene.
yan.
Welcome back.
How to evaluate if the activities we are doing are effective?
Okay. Well, activities could be evaluated for some may mga parang parameters that you could see, no? One, it could be satisfaction. For example, are they satisfied with how you conducted the activity? Number two, um, the relevance of the activity, no? So is it something that is relevant to them, no? Number three could be probably effectiveness, no? Ibig sabihin, effective ba yung naging activity natin, no? So nagkaroon ba siya ng impact sa bawat tao? So um, evaluating people or evaluating effectiveness could be done, no, randomly. No, you don't need to always conduct it to everyone. Okay. My technique always, if you want to evaluate the effectiveness of what you're doing, no, try to survey people that really gives very valid feedback. 'Di ba? Kasi minsan sa company may mga 'di ba yung term natin sa Tagalog na mema, no? Yung mema is may masabi lang, okay, sasabihin nila yung feedback pero parang it doesn't matter to us, no? So find people that really gives quality feedback. So that is what you will treasure in terms of the effectiveness of your activities. Ayan. So I hope I was able to answer that.
There. Thank you very much, Nolene. Any other questions? Maybe one last question before we provide you with
Our
more
announcement.
information, our special, and also our special announcement. So those joining us here on Zoom and on Facebook, please do stay with us for a few more minutes because we're going to give you a really good special announcement from Talent Reach. Ayan. Ayan. There's a question from Mariah. How do we encourage people to join our engagement activities? Some would often ignore our sessions. Ayan, very good question. Thank you.
Okay. Sige. So I think it's important for you to remember that whenever you provide engagement or yung mga activities, for example, um, most people will feel na what's in it for me, 'di ba? Yung tinatawag nating WIFM. So you always have to remember to think in the shoes of the person that you're inviting. For example, if I'm inviting this person, uh, ano yung ano yung mga bagay na kailangan i-communicate mo sa kanya so that this person would be able to really engage or really participate with you. Now, sometimes announcements, general announcements are not enough right now. Sometimes, di ba, pag kunyari mag-email blast ka, no? Sometimes, if you want people to be engaging in the activities, to a certain extent, you really need to go one by one. Okay, medyo nakakapagod lang yon, pero they will see how persistent you are, how determined you are for them to participate. Di ba? So kumaga parang try to make them feel that you are preparing for these activities and that you are really wanting them to participate. No? So don't rely on general announcements. No? So if you are coming up with activities, always remember the principle of communication. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Okay? Ibig sabihin, i-exaggerate mo. Huwag ka lang mag-rely on one. Kasi sometimes, hindi nila pinapansin yung isa. So, kailangan mapansin nila lahat ng bagay. Mag-email ka, mag-Viber ka, mag-announce ka to everyone, give out some things, for example. So, do something different every time. So, that is what people will remember para mag-participate sila. If all else fails, no? Para sa akin na if all else fails, sabihin mo doon sa boss niya, kailangan umattend siya. Dapat pati yung boss niya kasama. Okay? So, yon. That's my solution for that. Ayan.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would just like to acknowledge a message from Maria Lourdes. Let us all carry this learning to our respective offices. Don't keep it, share it. Thank you very much. That's true, no? So that's why we've also streamed this live on Facebook so that in case those who will not be able to join us here inside Zoom, they will also be able to watch this live feed. Maybe the replay, no? Kasi yung iba siguro are still on their way home.
Yeah.
Ayan. Thank you very much. Oh, maybe one last call for one last question, because if there's none, we'll proceed with just a few announcements and our special surprise for everyone. Ayan. So I think wala na, no? Sige, let me just share my screen. Okay. There. Oops, napunta na sa special announcement kagad. Ayan. Okay. So everyone can see my screen, no? Ayan.
Yes.
So, okay. So, we've prepared for the entire year a all of our webinars. So we're inviting you to join us, reach out to us if you will be interested to sign up or reserve your seats for any of the webinars that we'll be doing for the coming months. So we're done with this, building a positive culture with remote teams. And our next, this is a new program that we've come up with. So it's Recruitment in 2021, Tech Trends and Best Practices. So this will be on February 20 on a Saturday, so from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Normally, we run our workshops 2 to 3 hours, and it's via Zoom, and the fee is only 599. And for those who are HR professionals and you would like to be a certified human resource professional, you can join the certification program, which is facilitated by our director and also our speaker for tonight, Mr. Ron Turla. The next batch will be on March 6, 13, and 20. So if you would be interested, just email us at italentreach@gmail.com. Right. And then the next one is a rerun. So on March 27, we're going to have again our writing effective HR policies and procedures. So that will be on March 27. The fee is also 599. And then another most attended webinars that we had last year, crafting performance appraisals and KPIs. All right, so that will be on April 24, also on a Saturday, so more people can attend. Ayan. Kasi some are already going back or working at the offices, so we put it on a Saturday. Yan. So, and our premium program and special program by Talent Reach, HR Compass Masterclass, Batch 4, will be on June 12, 19, and 26. Ayan. So, if you would like to register for this masterclass program, we do have an early bird rate. So, reach out to us, send us an email at italentreach@gmail.com. And then also the CHRP batch 34. There's another schedule here. So that's for July 3, 10, and 17. And then batch 5, we'll have it on August. So you can choose the schedule that is most fitted for you. Yeah. So we have also the batch 5 for HR Compass Masterclass, August 14, 21, and 28. And then for our also our premium workshop, skills workshop for HR associates. This was also well attended last year. Our last workshop for 2021. Yeah, so that will be on September 25, 2020. Also from, I think this is more for 4 hours. And the fee is only 1,499. And our batch 6 will be our last batch will be on October 16, 23, and 30. So this is a premium program conducted for 3 consecutive Saturdays. This is for building your HR department. So this is especially for those who are supervisors, managers, or those who are business owners who would like to be able to further in their career or have an assistance on how to run their HR department. Ayan. And then going now to our very special announcement. Ayan. So I hope that you're still with us. Okay. So we now have the ebook edition of the HR Compass. Okay. So it's not yet available in our website. We have a special link and we have a special offer for all those who's joined us today via Zoom or live. No? So we're offering you a special rate. Ayan. Only for 280 pesos. So after this launch, it's going to be 350. So what's special about the HR Compass ebook edition is that you have now access to the templates, the forms that you can use or use as a reference. No, pwede niyong i-print. Ayan. And then you can download also that soon on Apple Store and Google Play. So more people will be able to actually avail of this ebook. So I'm going to post the link. No? So we're only extending this special rate, this special offer to the first 50 sign-ups. So I'm going to post on the chat box the form where you can sign up so that I can send you the special link and the instructions on how you can get hold of the ebook. So only for the first 50, just for today. Kasi we're still polishing up the site, but we want to be able to give you this as a treat, no? And as our thank you for joining us for our first program. So this is good for GCash and direct bank transfer. Ayan. So
Yeah.
we'll give you the
Okay.
instructions. Ayan. Sige, Ronnie, go ahead.
Okay. So again, we're making this special offer, no? And the book itself was launched in 2019. Okay. And the reason why we shifted to an ebook is because of obviously for reasons na most people are now reading electronically through the internet. That's why we shifted it. No. So far we have sold most of our printed copies in National Bookstore and through personal distribution. So if you would like, no, so the reason why we're offering this is because the book itself, yung ebook, when you download it, no, the good thing with it is that it includes already the forms. Okay? So there are about 10 or 12 forms. If you're in HR, this will be very useful for you. Kasi meron ka ng templates. So again, the price for the first 50, okay, who will sign up is 280
80. Yes.
pesos only. So you have the book, it's an electronic copy, and then you have the forms. Ayan. So yun yung in-include namin dun sa electronic book copy of the HR Compass. So again, this is the HR Compass, 7 steps to starting your human resource department. Okay? So if you're interested with that, okay, we will be more than glad. No? And stay tuned for the year or for 2021. We're going to launch another ebook. Okay, so watch out for that. Okay, so thank you.
Yeah. So thank you very much again to everyone who joined us in our first free webinar and in first event for 2021. Very well attended. So we have almost napuno natin ang Zoom. And there were also those who were able to join us on our Facebook Live. And most likely they will be able to watch the replay. So I've posted on the chat box the link. So please click on it. I'm also going to send this over to your email since you registered. So I will be able to accommodate the first 50. No, we will send you the link, and also on Facebook, it's on the comment. So pa-check na lang ng comment. Ayan. So again, thank you, and we wish everyone a good night and a happy 2021. Ayan. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone for participating. See you again in our next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.